Lovely. Welcome to another beginners friendly, though a little bit challenging yoga class. And we've got balancing in floating half moon, bit of hip opening, the frog, the dreaded frog. So let's have another look at those poses. A bit of strength for the arms, and we're going to try a fancy inversion, though you don't have to do it if you don't want to. Make sure you're not in severe pain today when you practice this. There's a few other ones that might be a little bit more suitable. Have a look in the video library. And to start with, we're going to lie back in Shavasana for a little while, taking the legs long and letting them flop apart from each other so that the hips are nice and free. Arms by the side, slightly away from the body, so there's a bit of space around the armpit. Nice length through the back of the neck. If you feel like your head's hanging back and down, try to find a towel or a small pillow, not too much. You don't want to be in a forward flexion. You just want to just raise your head slightly so you feel nice and long and free around the back of the neck. Remember, if your back is a little bit cranky, stand your feet up, rest your knees together, or hands on your belly. See if you can stay here for a moment, and we're going to breathe in and out through the nose, smooth, deep breath, letting the body and the mind arrive on the mat for your practice. Watching the rhythm of the breath as you inhale and exhale. Are they the same length? Maybe the exhale is a little longer. Noticing the body softening a little more with each exhale. Allowing your mind to become present in the moment for your practice. Noticing the weight of the body on the floor. Observing the temperature of the air on your skin. See if you can tell a difference between the inhale and the exhale. Is there a different temperature? Now take a moment to scan your body, allowing your body to communicate how it is feeling right now in this moment. Not judging the communication the body has for you. Just building up a picture, not trying to change anything. And then when you reached all the way to the toes with your body scan, bringing your attention to your heart center, tuning in with your current mood, how you're feeling right now. We're often so busy, we don't have time, we don't take the time to notice how we're feeling, only noticing the extremes when we're really, really happy or really, really sad. There's loads of shades of mood in between, and it's good to notice them so that you're aware of what is happening with you. And then let's set the intention for today's practice to honor the body, to listen to the body, and to do the right thing for yourself at the right time. When the body says no, you need to listen to your body. You're not fighting your body, you are trying to make friends with your body. You're trying to help your body be more prepared so that you can do fancy things like going on long walks or playing golf or You know, all the kind of adventures that we like to do, that we need our body to fully functioning, and maybe it's just playing with the kids. Remember, you don't have to hold any poses for the full duration that I may be holding them for this video. You can stop and swap if you like to at any point. Lovely. Let's start moving. Let's have a classic warming up and preparation for the body. On the inhale, lengthening, reaching, pointing your toes, arms overhead. Exhale, right knee to chest, give it a hug. Keep thumb length in the lower back. Let's move the knee slightly out towards your right shoulder, pointing and flexing. If you want to, you can stand the second leg up. Good stuff. Inhale, slide the legs long, reaching, stretching. Exhale, other knee to chest, give it a hug, pointing and flexing. Big movement. Remember your option, standing the spare leg up without actually pressing the back into the floor. So we're not trying to flex the spine, we're trying to keep the spine in neutral. Inhale, lengthening, stretching, reaching. Exhale, right leg floats up to the sky, hugging behind the thigh or maybe holding around the thigh, circling the toes. Big circles. Push the heel up, draw the toes down to the nose. Going the other way around. Noticing what's happening in the ankle joint. And then bend and float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, other side. Hug behind the thigh. Circling. Notice if this leg is different. Where do you feel the stretching sensation? Change direction if you haven't already. Trying to make that circle big by pulling the toes firmly down to the nose, really pressing the heel up. And then we bend and float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, both knees to chest. Gently rocking from side to side in Apanasana. And from here, take the hands on the top of the knees and circle the knees away from each other, just preparing the hips, lubricating the hip joint through the movement, all joints, the hips, knees, ankles, shoulders, and they like to have movement. Through the movement, they get lubricated and stay nice and mobile and fluid. Have you gone both directions with your circling? Beautiful. Then bring the next legs together, stand the feet on the floor, taking ankle, thighs, and knees together and keeping them together. Arms out to the side, nice and wide along the shoulder line. So try not to have them off to an angle if you don't have to. I know not all places have got enough space, so if you need to have them a little bit more towards the hip, that's okay. Palms up. Inhale, exhale, lower the knees to one side, trying to keep the knees together exactly, keeping shoulder blades on the floor. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. You can let the top knee follow the bottom knee by pushing it slightly in the same direction that they are pointing. And as you do that, you feel a different sensation along the side of the body, a stretching sensation. If you want to turn your head, you can. With these movements, you always try to make them a range that feels good for you. It needs to feel helpful, not painful. If you create pain, you create tension. Most of us have had a back spasm, and the back spasm only gets worse because the body's trying to protect you from the pain. So let's come back in the center. Inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, both knees to chest. Gently rocking from side to side, rolling to the right, propping yourself up to sitting. Lovely. See if we can sit in Baddha Konasana, that soles of the feet together. Now you might find it's a good idea to sit on a blanket or a block or just something that elevates your hips. You don't have to have blocks. Don't run out and go buy blocks now. Just see if you can makeshift a little bit of height with a blanket or towel or a pillow. So here we go. The soles of the feet together. If they are falling apart slightly here at the top, that's okay. The closer you bring it, the more tension it creates. So just find some range that works for you, letting the knees rest out. If it really doesn't work, just go cross-legged or kneeling. It's totally okay. Just find a comfortable sitting position. Just trying to be a little bit fancy today. So whilst we are mobilizing the back in more flexion, side flexion, and back bending and rotation, you're stretching your inner thigh, your adductors, and mobilizing the hips. Inhale, grow. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Reaching, let the shoulder of the hand that goes on the floor move down. Remember, we're not leaning on the arm that is going down. We're just gently placing it to have a little bit of support. If you notice any gripping around the hip, see if you can let go of that tension, persuading the body to be okay being here. Lovely. And then we're going to inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. Start small. One hand in front, one behind. Inhale. Exhale. Keep tracing. Round. Maybe a little bigger each time you go. Eventually the hand can come on the outside of your thigh and you can draw yourself around a little bit more. Pick up your chest, the center of your chest, the sternum, sitting really upright, turning the head, shoulders, chest. Last couple. Super. Inhale in the center. Exhale, forward, and then just rest here. Maybe you want to walk slightly forward. Breathing into the back, breathing into the hips, expanding your ribs. Inhale, walk your hands back. Place your hands with the fingertips behind you on the floor. Now press your pelvis forward and the belly and the chest and then gazing up. So you're just doing a mild extension through the back and you're opening your chest by drawing your shoulders back and together. Inhale, lower chin, and then take your hands to fold the legs together, because when you're there for a while and gravity does the work, those muscles are becoming essentially immobilized for like just a little while whilst they are, from the stretch a little bit weakened. They'll be regaining their strength shortly. Just a good practice to help them come back together. We're going on to all fours. So we've got a few cat-cows. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees under the hips. Remember, there's a space between your knees. Slight bend in the elbow, just enough so that you are not hanging in your elbow joint. The back of the elbow is pointing towards your legs. Gaze in front. On the next exhale, roll the pelvis back, draw the belly button up, roll towards your rib cage, one vertebrae at a time. Head comes in last. Inhale, lower the base of the ribs, unwinding to both ends, looking forward, cow. Cat, curl the tailbone, flexion of the spine, rounding, keeping weight evenly on the hands and knees. Inhale, looking forward. You can do as many as you need to feel like your spine is ready to do more fancy back bends. This is a good test to check how your spine is when you're feeling a little bit stiff and horrible, maybe from sitting or just generally being a bit immobile. And then when you start moving, instead of thinking, oh, my back's not well, do a few cat-cows and see if you can loosen things up. If it doesn't feel helpful, then you know that it's a little bit more of a problem than you thought it might be. Good. And then finding the middle. Let's take the legs wide, reach the heels of the hands forward, lengthening lowering the chest down, ears between the upper arms. Deep breath into the back. Inhale into the long cow, stretching the belly, looking forward. Exhale, press back, keep the legs bent. Remember, belly and thighs are touching. Option to use that block to trap it here in the hip crease. Pressing back again, keep going with your breath. Inhale, exhale, lengthening. Maybe one more. Excellent. And then pressing back, settling here, lengthening. Inhale, walk your hands towards your feet. Let yourself hang heavy, looking between the knees, belly resting against the thighs. Reach your hands behind. Inhale, lower the bum, press the floor away through the chair pose. Exhale, hands to heart. Beautiful. How are you feeling? Good. Let's have a round of variation of sun salutation. Toes together, heels slightly apart. Palms facing forward. Tadasana, lifting the inside arches, gazing ahead, reaching up through the crown. Feel your back lengthening in both directions, up and down. Slide your head back slightly so your ears over the shoulder. Feels like you're doing a double chin, but that's okay. Alignment. Inhale, palms meet. Squeeze your bum and maybe add a little back bend, looking at the thumbs, extending through the hips. Belly button to spine. Exhale, forward fold, hinging from the hips, looking between the knees behind you. Inhale, up, chair pose, lengthen. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, right leg steps back, place the knee, point the toe, opening up, back bending lunge. Exhale, hands down, step back, take a downward dog. Inhale into plank, lengthen, place the knees, elbows in, chin chest, Ashtanga Namaskar, roll through, shoulders back and down, open into a small cobra, squeeze your bum. Exhale, press back, downward dog, belly button to spine. Inhale, right leg steps. Remember to step forward far enough, and usually a good thing to do is release a hand where you're stepping on the same side. Place the back foot pointed, sink forward, back, bending lunge, opening the hip. Exhale, hands down, tuck the toe, forward fold, and then we come up. Inhale through the chair pose. Exhale, hands to heart. Superb. You like the back bending lunge? Let's do it again on the other leg, on the left leg. Inhale, Hasta Uttanasana, squeeze your buttocks, look at the thumbs. Exhale, belly button to spine, bend the knees, fold forward. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back, nice long reach. Place the knee, point the toe, press through the front leg. Exhale, hands down, step back for the downward dog. Nice long line from the wrist to the bum. Inhale, plank. Look in front of the fingers. Make sure your bum is not up. Yeah, keep it nice and level. Exhale, knees, chin, chest. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. Open the chest. Exhale, press back, downward dog. Inhale, step left. Remember to release the hand. Lower. Inhale, back bending lunge. Exhale, forward fold. reach back. Inhale through the chair pose. Exhale, hands to heart. Superb. Shall we have one more round on each leg? Yes? Good stuff. Inhale, Hashtha Uttanasana. Exhale, belly button to spine, Uttanasana, fold forward. Inhale, sit back, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, right leg back, place the knee, point the toe, breath through. Inhale. Exhale, step back, plank. Exhale, sink knee, chin, chest. Inhale, shoulders back, open. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right leg steps. See how I released my hand and then press through the front leg. Push the pelvis forward slightly. Stay square. Exhale. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, chair pose. Extend. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time. Left leg. Here we go. Inhale, Hashtha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, left leg, knee, press through the front. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, transition. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, step left, lower the knee, press through the front leg, open the hip. Exhale, forward fold. Reach back, inhale, chair pose. Extended mountain. Hands to heart, exhale. Take a moment and just let your heart rate normalize. Breathing deeply. Superb. Nice. Have a little release and a wriggle. We're going to do a high lunge now. So I'm going to start at the top of my mat. You can mirror me, so maybe face the same direction, or if you're facing me, that's okay. If you head on, just stepping your right leg back. Nice big reach. 2 lines, one for each foot. Now those two pointy bones at the front of the hip, yeah? Take them and shine the headlights straight ahead rather than slightly to the floor. So you're trying to stack your pelvis back up, so your back here is nice and long and free. This leg is nearly straight, but there is a slight bend because you are trying to find the right angle to get the stretch here in this hip. The heel is off the ground at the back. Front leg press through the heel and the big toe mount. See if you can balance. Inhale, arms up, focus ahead. Arms around the ears, shoulders, just relaxing down. A high lunge, Anjeneyasana. Superb. And then we're going to step change of the leg. Big reach. Stack the pelvis back up. Press through the front leg. Find your balance. Inhale, reach and lengthen. Settle the shoulders, gazing ahead. Breathing for a moment, slowly, consciously. And then floating down, stepping in. Superb. For the next one, I'm going to face you. We're going to step apart into a setup for triangle, and then we're going to in a floating half moon. You might want a block or a chair close by. So if you don't have a block, see if you can have a chair waiting for you on either side of your mat. We're going to step wide, so fairly wide, turning to one side. The heel points through the arch of the back foot. Now you've got your triangle legs. If you bend the knee, it's working towards a triangle, so you're trying to straighten. Inhale, arms like a warrior two. We're going to exhale, reach, folding. Keep this waist long, round. So you can take your block, put it on the inside of your foot where your arm would be naturally hanging. This one tries to reach up straight to the sky. You can, if you don't have a block, have your hand on your lower leg. If you want to be extra fancy and hard working, show me the palm and float the arm so that you've got a nice line through both arms. If this arm doesn't want to be there, doesn't feel good for your shoulder, set the shoulder back and rest the hand on the side. Good. Triangle pose. Find a spot on the floor in front of your foot, about 20 centimeters. Bend your knee on the triangle leg. Coming closer, find that back foot with just a tippy toe. Now when you look at the floor, lift the leg behind you faster than you're folding forward, reaching apart. So you can use a block or a chair to gently rest your hand on. Again, you can have your top arm there if you want to. Floating half moon. Ardha Chandrasana. Good stuff. And then we step back, floating back into a triangle position, pivot the foot, take it around to the other side, getting long, reaching, rotating, folding, option, hand on lower leg. Remember, we still got this option as well if you would like to use it, or you want to have your block there, hand here, or floating, pressing back, lengthening, gazing where it feels most comfortable for you. Maybe up, maybe straight ahead, or down. Take another breath, exploring that rotation. Bring in the top shoulder, not the arm, just the whole complex. So you must take your chest muscle and engage it slightly so the arm doesn't fold back. And then we're going to bend the knee, come a little closer, find that spot on the floor, and maybe you want to put your hand on the chair, floating up, let the leg travel a little bit faster than the torso. Your bum muscle should be really on fire. I like to point my foot. Remember to use your block if you want to. Reaching arms and legs apart, spread yourself tall, big, take up space. Taking another breath if you can. And if you wobble, don't matter, it doesn't matter, just do it again, reset, start over, stepping back, pivot, step together. Superb. That was our lovely half moon triangle sequence. We're going to reach to the sky and go to the floor. Exhale, fold, take yourself to your knees. Superb. So next one, we got the frog pose. If you have got a thin mat and you're not on a carpeted area, you may want to fold your mat in on each side, just a little bit. So you've got a double layer, especially on hardwood floor. We're going to take one knee wide, taking the other knee wide, so that you are in a kind of wide kneed kneeling. The lower leg is going to be in line with the short edge of the mat. Flex your foot so it's in line with the long edge of behind you. So both legs are opening up. Now you're on your hands. Take the body weight on the hands for now. Walking down on your elbows. Pressing through the forearms, spreading the fingers. Rock gently back. Push the pelvis back. Draw the belly button towards the spine. And then slightly forward. And then find that happy medium where you can feel something is happening. A sweet spot. Gazing between your wrists so the neck is nice and long. You're not cranking. You don't need to see me. You can just listen right now. Superb. Spread your fingers out so the elbows are underneath the shoulders. So because it is quite a tough pose, the frog pose, Mandukasana, we can do something really lovely. So you're going to squeeze the floor with your knees, the inside of your knees. Your inner thighs are tightening. It feels like you're shaking. And exhale, let yourself melt down towards the floor a little bit more. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. You'll notice because you're squeezing and releasing, it's a little bit more doable. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Stretching your groin, inner thigh. Inhale. Exhale, focus. Mandukasana, frog pose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Just see if you can just breathe normally without squeezing. Just stay here for one more breath. Remember, if you want to come out, try to come out gracefully. Yeah, I'll show you now. Drop back onto one hand, onto the other hand. Push into one hand on the same side, release the leg, bring the leg in. Then shift the weight into the other hand, release the knee. Come in and sit back into a child's pose. Relaxing, so the legs are now together. Counter pose. Inhale, prop up through your hands. And the next one is the gate pose. So again, if you've got super sensitive knees, have the mat folded over. Mine is fairly thick, so I'm not that fussed. Start tall kneeling. Hip bones level. Keep your thigh underneath the hip, underneath the shoulder. Take one leg to the side. Now let's explore. So the heel is in line with that knee that's on the floor. This foot can either point forward, so it's flat on the floor. You can point it to the side, so it's kind of in line with the rest of the leg. You can rest it on the heel and pull the toe up, or you can have something in between. So just see if you can find a position. Just make sure you're not diagonal this way or diagonal that way. Can you see? You're hanging in your hip and you're jamming the thigh bone into the socket. It's not a good place to be. So just nice and stacked. You can glance down, you should be able to see it there. And then you choose a position that you like. Feeling maybe a gentle release here. Inhale. Exhale, fold towards the leg. Parighasana, the gate pose. Opening the side of the body. Releasing, reaching up so you can gaze upward. Gaze downward. Remember, you can release and reset at any point. I'm just trying to hold the pose slightly longer. Instead of going side to side to side to side, we're just going to stay a little bit longer and explore a bit deeper. Reach, 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 reach. And inhale here. Floating down. Knees together, and then we go the other way. Again, tidy yourself up. Thighs straight up and down. Underneath. Choose your foot position. It might be different on the side, so if you want to have a different position for each leg because it feels more adequate, do that. Totally okay. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Parighasana, the gate pose. So you're not twisting. You imagine your back against the wall and you're just sliding along the wall with both shoulder blades. Deep breath. In and out. Where do you like looking best for alignment of the neck? How does it feel best? Remember, if you want to release, you can. Just going to stay for one more breath. And then inhale, float back. Exhale, release. Beautiful. Maybe take a child's pose just for a moment. Releasing the spine. Breathe into the ribs. Inhale, prop yourself up. Lovely. So next one, we're going to have a bridge pose on our back. So lie back, feet hip width apart, fairly close to the bum, hands by the side, and then on the inhale, press up through the heels. And when you're as high as you feel you can come for this moment, take one shoulder blade closer to the center, then rock onto that one and take the other shoulder closer. So you feel like there's a squeeze, a skin fold between your shoulder blades. Hands trying to reach towards your heels. You don't have to be able to touch, but if you have trouble touching, maybe your feet are just way too far away. So make sure you walk them in a little bit towards your bum. Gaze up straight to the sky and then stay here. Breathing. Inhale. Exhale. As you reach towards your heels, you're lengthening the side of the neck. Inhale. Exhale. Squeeze your knees so that they're not flaring apart. Bum muscles are on fire. Hips are stretching through the front. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Gently lower down, exhaling your knees to chest, rocking from side to side. Maybe you prefer circles. Lovely, and then let's roll over to the right. Use the hands to come up, propping yourself up through the hands to kneeling. And we're going to have a camel pose next. See if we can be knees under the hips, and then taking the hands into the small of the back below where the squishy part, just below the ribs, with the heel of the hand. We're going there. You need to press the front of your hips forward strongly by squeezing very tightly through your bum. You don't want to be just jamming here in the small of the back. You want an even long curve. Imagine you're lying back over one of those big balls, very nice and supported. So we're going to inhale and then exhale. Squeeze the elbows back, gazing up. Pressing the pelvis forward by squeezing the buttocks. Letting the shoulders open. Inhale, lower the chin and release down. Lovely. So I want to show you another camel, because what I think is very interesting is we've just done the bridge before, and when you turn your bridge to be on your knees, on your lower legs, then it is essentially a camel. So you're resting on your bridge in your shoulder blades and through the feet. And in your camel, if you're doing the bigger camel, you can either tuck your feet under, you can use a block on the outside of the foot. I'm just going to move it to the inside so you can see that the block is way higher than my foot, so it brings up the floor higher. There are camels where you can have your feet flat on the floor if you can reach. If your back has got enough extension and back bending ability, then you can actually do that, leaving them flat on the floor. So just use an option that works for you, or stay with the one that we've just done. Whichever one you choose, it's fine. Remember, we need to do what's right for us in that moment. And if you don't skip any steps in the process of practice, you will get to the next bigger one at some point. So if you want to do one with me, I'm tucking my toes under, or use that block. Inhale, exhale, reaching for the heels, pressing the pelvis forward. Your shoulder blades are squeezing back. There's a fold between them again. Keep a bit of length through the back and front of the neck. Pressing the pelvis forward strongly. Stretching through the hips. And then inhale, coming tall. Take very slowly, undo your feet. Gently sitting down. Take a child's pose. Spending time here for a moment. Maybe stuck your hands underneath your forehead. Flexion of the spine, so it's your counter pose. If your back feels a little bit sore, that is okay, providing the soreness doesn't stay. So my back feels a little bit like it's done a back bend, but I know that it will settle very shortly. And then we prop up back through the hands. And we're going to have a go at Tolasana, the scales pose. So for Tolasana, you want a couple of fat books so that you can replace blocks if you don't have any. We're going to sit with the legs out in front, and the blocks are going by the side of your bum, very close, snuggled up. Wrap your fingers around the front edge, so you must bring the blocks far enough back so that the hands are just slightly in front of the shoulders. I like to wrap my thumb on the inside edge, but just as my personal preference, you have a see what works for you. Inhale and then press up, engaging your core, pressing through the heel of the hand, coming up, holding, breathing, trying to press the elbows in towards the ribs. Yeah, they can't go away from the body. It doesn't work if you do. Have that. If you don't like it on the wrists, you can do it on knuckles. If you don't have a book or two at hand, well, you do need two really because you've got two arms. If you don't have anything at hand, you can use your knuckles. You must keep your wrist really tall and stiff, so no bending in the wrist. If you're using your knuckles, press through the knuckles and then release. So you may find that your bum is still touching the floor. That's okay. You know, it depends on the length of your arms, whether you are going to be able to get yourself high up off the floor or not. If you are just doing it with hands flat, without anything underneath, it's not going to go very far up. You won't get enough pressure. Don't use anything soft like towels or pillows because you're going to aggravate your wrists wriggling around in that softness. So worthwhile finding something a little bit more sturdy to press up. Good. So you just do as many as you like to train your strength. And that was Tolasana, the scales pose. So for the next bit, I would like to share with you the shoulder stand. And if you are not ready for the shoulder stand, it's not a problem. We can tackle it at some point when you feel ready. I give you an option to maybe rest your legs up against a sturdy object like the back of the sofa or a wall if you have one. So I'm just going to show you. So you come as close as you can with your bum towards the wall, sideways. Then you try to lower yourself down through the elbows, swivel around, and then rest your legs up against the wall. You can stay here as long as you feel comfortable. This pose helps with venous return, so that means the blood can flow back to the heart without having to be pumped through the muscular action. It makes everything a little bit easier on your system. If you have swollen ankles because you've been dancing all night, this is the one for you. Lovely. I like to rest my hands on my belly. So this is your option. If you want to come out, bring your legs down, push yourself away from the wall, come up through your and prop yourself up through your elbows and hands. And then if you want to have a look at the shoulder stand, this is what happens in the shoulder stand. Lovely. So we're going to lie on our back. Try not to do it at the same time if you're not sure where we're going. Maybe watch it, then pause the video and have another go, or replay that part and listen to it so you're not cranking your neck. Remove any bubbles from the back of the head, so any ponytails need to come out now because you don't want to have your head being pressed into flexion. Super. So lying back, making everything comfy. And then we're going to bring the knees towards the body. So you can just practice that motion by drawing the knees in and lowering back down. So it's a little bit of core training as well. If you are struggling with that motion, that is the only part that's holding you back, apart from maybe possibly being a little bit frightened. Yeah, try to just roll in and let yourself down. Gently press into the floor. We roll in, walk the hands up the back, bring the elbows closer. The pressure is through the elbow, the back of the elbow. The knees are over the eyebrows. You can stay here in a small shoulder stand. There's no pressure on the neck. You want to keep gazing up straight to the sky. You can lengthen the legs up if you want to, straightening them up high. You can have them slightly bent if you want to. So just exploring this inversion, being upside down. It's got the same kind of benefits as the one with the legs against the wall. And you stay here as long or as short as you feel comfortable. To come down, bend the knees, always gracefully coming down. Safest way to do. If you just did the shoulder stand with me, we're going to prop ourselves up through the elbows, lengthen the legs, elbows underneath the shoulders, quite close, hands under the top of your bum, press up and away, so arching your back as if you're doing a cobra, gazing forward and up, opening the chest. And then gently lower yourself down into Shavasana and relaxing. Let's just stay here for a little while to breathe deeply, allowing the body to relax and settle. Breathing in the belly, relaxing the shoulders and the legs. So instead of thinking what you need to do when you've finished your practice, see if you can still stay present. See if you can do a really thorough body scan. So instead of just zooming through it, really slowly start at the top of the head, not forgetting the nose and the ears, looking at each arm and leg individually, not forgetting the toes. Noticing all the areas in the body that feel relaxed. Allow the body to let go of tension. Visualizing the tension leaving the body. Letting go of anything that doesn't serve you anymore. See if you can take a moment to tune in with your emotions, with your mood. How are you feeling right now in this moment? Taking the opportunity to give thanks to the body. Letting your body know that you appreciate its support in today's yoga asana practice and in life. Knowing that your body is always trying to do its best with what you pose in it, just sometimes it is not as prepared as it would like to be. Keep working together with your body to help it be prepared so you can enjoy life together. Gently wriggling your fingers and toes, reawakening the body a little at a time. Inhaling, stretching and lengthening, moving more. Exhaling your knees to chest, rocking from side to side. Maybe you prefer circles. Do both directions. Rolling to your right. And then coming to sitting. Make yourself comfortable. You don't have to sit cross-legged, just any way you feel comfortable is okay. Remember, you can always sit on a block. It always takes the pressure out of the hips. Beautiful. So that was a nice practice, a little bit challenging in places, but helpful. So if you want to have a go at pranayama, we can do Bhramari breath, the humming bee breath, and I'm going to show you how it goes. So you've got that little nip at the ear. You're going to close that with your thumb, so don't stick your thumb in. You're actually pressing from the outside against that nip so that it closes the hearing sense. We're going to rest the hands across the face, so you're taking out the vision sense. You breathe in and out through your nose. The mouth is closed gently. The teeth are apart and the tongue is resting loosely. Okay, so as you breathe in deeply down to the belly, notice how you grow, and as you exhale, you're making that humming bee sound. Hopefully, you don't have people who are watching you right now, so you don't have to feel self-conscious. I'm going to do it with you. We're going to do 5. Beautiful. Did you notice the vibration of that humming? It's quite helpful in calming you down. And if you're doing this one around Christmas, maybe you've had stressful family situations. I think we all have them every so often. You can also, if you are in public and you can't actually do it, just visualize yourself or remember that feeling of that vibration in the chest. Maybe it travels up and down the spine, being really aware of where you feel it. And then when you have practiced that a couple of times, you can memorize that feeling and you can just conjure the memory up instead of actually doing it, because it's not necessarily possible to do that when you're on the M1, right? So lovely. Thank you for practicing with me today, and I would like to see you back for another round at some point. Thank you. Namaste. I see the light in you. Well done.